Hi, I'm Claudia Brown Coulter with Pivotal Peace. I'm your go-to mediator for navigating divorce while parenting children with special needs. And I'm also legal document assistant LDA based in the greater Los Angeles area. Let's talk about the FL 141. You're like, girl, what is that? It's one of 4 required documents for your step 2 financial disclosures. And when I mean step 2, I mean divorce is divided into 3 steps. And step 2 is where it's kind of where everything kind of falls apart for folks. They delay, it's just procrastination. This is your financial disclosures. Either they don't want to do it, they're hiding, or they're just like, this is too much work. This paper is really, really important. This FL 141 is important because this is one of the forms that actually gets filed with the court. Not all of your step 2 documents get filed with the court. This one does. So let's take a look at it and talk about why it is so important. Okay, so on the screen, you should see the FL 141. This information up here is the same. This is where you're going to be putting your name, your address, your name and your address. Down here is where you're going to put your telephone number, your email address. If you are representing yourself, you are per, okay? So, or if you're using someone like me, a legal document assistant to help you with these forms, I ain't your attorney, right? I can't give you legal advice. All right, the next part, you want to make sure you have the right, don't leave this blank, the county of blank. Okay, what county are you in? Spell it right. You want to get the right county on there. And then Los Angeles County, for example, has several different courts, and not all of their courts handle family law. So of all those many, many different courts, there's a subset that actually handle family law. So you need to make sure you have the right court, put their address. You don't need to put their state, but their city and zip code. And then every court has a name. It could be the Pasadena Courthouse. It could be the Stanley Moss Courthouse. It could be Chatsworth Courthouse. You want to go ahead and put the branch name on there too. The petitioner. If you filed for divorce, then you are the petitioner. You're going to put your name there. Please put your name down the way you put it on the petition. If you are the respondent, you're putting your name there. Please put your name on this paperwork the way your spouse wrote it on the FL 100 on the petition. The court, I don't know. Listen. Apparently you become a different person if you add an initial instead of a full name. Who knows? Don't mess with the clerks at the court. Keep the names the same so that they don't reject your judgment, okay? There usually isn't another person here, okay? Now, depending on who you are, the petitioner or the respondent, let's say you're the petitioner, you're going to mark that you're the petitioner. And really today we're talking about the FL 141 for the preliminary disclosures. When people work with me, we don't take 5 years to get that divorce done. It doesn't take that long. So what we usually do is we complete the preliminary disclosures, and then a couple weeks later, we file the judgment. So we don't need to do the final disclosures if they're both in agreement. If you and your spouse are in agreement, if we're going to waive the final disclosures, then you can submit a different form to waive those final disclosures. And honestly, not much time has passed, so the court is usually like, that's fine. So let's just talk about preliminary. And then you want to make sure you have your case number. The court does not know how to file this if it doesn't have your case number. They're not going to look up your name. Okay? All right. And then we're working with the petitioner. Okay. Petitioner, check that you're the petitioner. And once again, you're checking that you're the petitioner. Now, this statement here is saying that you have exchanged the FL 140, the FL 150, the FL 142, or the FL 160. There's a big or here. You don't have to do both of those. It's the 142 or the 160. Okay, but it does say that there needs to be appropriate attachments. So you can't just fill out the forms and be like, well, I filled them out. No, the FL 142 is requesting that you attach statements related to the things that you wrote down on that form. Okay, and then also You need to have your tax returns. Make sure that your spouse has access to the last 2 years of filed tax returns. Then, how were they served? Does your spouse have an attorney? Then they need to be given to the attorney. Okay? But if your spouse doesn't have an attorney, then they're just being delivered to your spouse. And then how are they being delivered? Is someone handing them to them? Right? That would be personal service. Are you sticking them in the mail? Okay. Or are you doing something else? Now, since COVID, a lot of the courts will allow you to share this information with your spouse, have this information shared to your spouse via email. So I will usually email the spouse this information, any supporting documentation, and then you're CC'd on that email. This is where you have to include that information that you emailed them and where it went. Not every county likes that. In Ventura, they need permission from the spouse to email. They need written permission. Okay, that's totally fine too. But just be aware you can email until the court says otherwise. They've been accepting that. And then they want to know, what date did you share that information on? Don't leave that blank. What date did you share that information on? That is the date of service. This is a proof of service of your financial disclosures, right? A declaration, we didn't even tell you the title, a declaration regarding the service and declaration of disclosure and income and expense declaration. They want to know, when did you give this stuff to your spouse? When did someone deliver this stuff to your spouse? Does your spouse have access to this? You know what I'm about to say. Please don't lie. People be like, can we just sign it and say we did it? You're signing under the penalty of perjury that you did it. And I'm not going to facilitate your fabrication, so you can go work with someone else. Don't lie. And that's pretty much all you need. This one is for final. These are other issues here. This is all you need for your preliminary disclosures. And then you're going to date it, print your name here, and then sign it and file it with the court. Okay, that's it. Doing the FL-141 is so simple. It's so fast. You don't need to check everything. If you're just doing preliminary stuff, just focus on the parts where it says preliminary. I know forms can be overwhelming, but the California Judicial Council has done a very good job of making things a little bit more understandable. You can totally do this. If you can't, if you've got questions, reach out to me. I'm happy to help. Get this done. You will feel so much better.